Good. All right, good evening. I would like to call the June 4th, 2019 Board of Selectmen's meeting to order. Can we all please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I do not have any announcements. Is there anyone here for anything that is not currently posted on our agenda? Seeing as none, I will go right to the first item, which is the Richard J. McLaughlin Community Award. Chief and Aaron, come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening.
Good evening. Evening, Chief. Esteemed John J. Furno.
So just to give you a little bit of background, as you know, earlier this year we came before your board and we talked about presenting a community award in the name of Officer Richard J. McLaughlin. As you know, Officer McLaughlin was a lifelong resident of Douglas, and he served this community for over 35 years. He was a man of integrity, professionalism, and compassion. From the beginning of his career through his retirement in 2008, he gave countless hours to our school programs, Boy Scouts, band boosters, seniors, and most passionately our veterans. Simply put, Officer McLaughlin was a great man who worked extremely hard for his family and this community, and he always did it with a smile on his face. He was community policing before there was community policing. Always had a smile on his face, always had a handshake for you. But don't get me wrong, he would arrest you if you screwed up. So he was the total package. So as a police department, we're really proud to give this award in his name. I'm going to pass it over to Sergeant McLaughlin, his son, who's going to say a few words on behalf of the family.
Thank you, Chief. First, thanks for the board for allowing us time to be up here tonight. Thanks for the Chief for being so supportive with the process, and thanks for my family for being supportive as well. Nice way to honor my father for, again, his 35 years he was with the town. Trying to find somebody to meet his level of, what was respected. We thought we were going to have some trouble, but we had some pretty good nominations come through, and ultimately our pick is right here next to us. Everybody knows Mr. Furno. He's been in town forever. Currently the highway superintendent, deputy fire chief. A couple different things that he does. Everybody's seen him around, working at Soldiers Field, the cemeteries, working with the veterans. I'm trying not to get emotional yet. A lot of different things he does. They won the Uxbridge Parade for the holiday season 3 years in a row. I mean, that just says a lot for the people that he works with and the things they do. They have a lot of fun. They're always doing something extra. Spent a lot of years putting on softball coach clinics for the girls in town. Especially this year, he was honored as the 2019 Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association's Coach of the Year. And that award kind of summed it up, and it says recognizing excellence in character, service, leadership, and coaching. So I think that's pretty strong work right there. And the nomination that was selected, it read very well, said a lot of great things, but I thought it would be important just to share the last paragraph of it. And it says, through many changes in our town over the years, John has consistently made a difference, is always willing to lend a helping hand to anyone in need, and has positively impacted the people of Douglas and places in our community. There are so many essential key roles in a community like Douglas, and John Furno is at the heart of all of it. He is a perfect candidate for the first annual Community Service Award. So I thank you for all that you do. And the award, I will read the last and sum it up. In appreciation and recognition presented to John J. Furno of your continued commitment to the town of Douglas through volunteerism, selflessness, which is presented by the McLaughlin family in cooperation with the Douglas Police Department. Excellent. We'll do something a little bit more formal downstairs in the essence of time, so we don't take any more from your meeting. We'll take some pictures, and we'll bring you guys up some cake afterwards. But we'll finish everything up downstairs. Everybody's welcome to a reception down in the training room of the police department. And again, John, thank you.
Thank you. I'm honored. Give me a second.
I know, I started reading, I couldn't.
Just to have my name mentioned with Ricky McLaughlin is an honor. It really is. Ricky was a good friend to all of us, a great police officer in the town. I just want to thank my family, McLaughlin family, you know, my wife, my daughters, son-in-law, their boyfriends. It just takes a whole group to get me this award. It's not just my award. Just thank you very much. That's all I can say.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, I'm a nobody.
We agree.
Before you get the chance to run away, John, so, because I know you're not a big limelight guy, I have to say I can't think of anybody that exemplifies, you know, what the community of Douglas and coming together and doing things for the town and pitching in. There's nobody that exemplifies it better than you do. So you always go above and beyond in the highway department, with your coaching at the fire department, and you're just a genuine rock of the community. And I sincerely appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Another handshake, John. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Now this looks more like a regular selectmen's meeting.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so on to item number 2, which is a appointment to the Conservation Commitment. Harris, and I am gonna...
Mungeam.
Yep. You?
Okay, in your packet are 2 applications. One's from Mark Mungeam, who is applying for a full membership. The other is for Eric Harris as an alternate. Mr. Harris is currently going to school, so cannot attend the full duties of a committee member. Conservation did meet last night, and they do support the appointments.
Excellent. What are you going to school for?
Environmental science.
Awesome.
Geez, I
Where are
thought
you
everyone was here to oppose my appointment. I was nervous.
No such thing as bad publicity, right?
I guess not.
Where are you going to school?
Westfield State.
Good school. Excellent. No, there's no opposition to people volunteering. So as long as you don't lead the conversation with see how long before I get kicked off, then I think we're doing okay.
I had that thought.
My filter's not working today. Excellent. So, well, I mean, if the Conservation Commission supports it, first of all, thank you very much, both of you, for volunteering. It's a committee that I know all the commission has desperately needed some additional members for a while, because they've been running pretty lean. So, and I'm sure you'll both bring added value to the commission and probably some fresh perspectives, hopefully.
I hope so.
I don't have any.
I have no questions, so I'll make a motion to appoint Mark Mungeam and Eric Harris to the Conservation Commission as presented.
Term ending June 30th, 2020.
Thank you.
Mr. Mungeam as a full member, and Mr. Harris as an alternate.
I knew somebody was going to edit the motion. I'll second it as edited.
The motion has been made, edited, and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you
very
both.
Okay,
Yes, sir. All right, great.
so this brings us to the open space appointment. Mr. Larrivee?
In your packet is an application from Mr. Larrivee. Currently, Catherine Anderson is the member. She has chosen to not seek reappointment. So her term ends June 30th. And I'm asking that if you choose to appoint Mr. Larrivee, that his term start July 1st, ending June 30th, 22.
Okay. Well, again, thank you very much for volunteering.
Yes.
My pleasure. It's what I like to do.
So,
I spent the last 10 years working with the Great Oyster Land Trust and appreciate open space and making it available for people to be out in it, you know? So,
it sounds like it's right up your alley.
kind of.
Excellent. Again, I have no questions,
I have
concerns, or
no
reservations.
questions. I'm just thankful that you're willing to step up and volunteer.
Spread the word, get more people.
Exactly.
Want to get them out in the woods, you know?
Feel free to actively recruit.
Okay?
All right, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Larrivee to the Open Space Committee for a term beginning July 1, 2019, and ending June 30th, 2022.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I note for the record the Ms. Kane's use of okey dokey in the email.
So noted.
We may have to define that for younger people watching, so.
At some point.
Okey dokey.
Okey dokey.
All right, my all-time favorite, especially when there are absent members from meetings, is to approve and vote on annual appointments.
What a wonderful idea.
So,
In your packet is the list, the full list, with everyone that has asked to be reappointed in green, who do not want to be reappointed in red. The new terms are also listed, and the two yellows is a CMRPC for you to act on tonight also. And I have 2 points that I would ask you to consider.
sure.
What you want to do with DPW Study Committee and what you want to do with the Strategic Budget Committee, which both have not met in a very long time.
Honestly,
Whether you want to keep them or disband them.
I would say disband both of those.
I would say disband. I don't have any direct experience with DPW study, but the strategic budget has probably run its course from when it was formed.
I would agree.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we need to vote on that, Suzanne? To
I
disband?
would.
Make a motion that we disband the DPW study and the strategic budget committees.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That does away with those.
So I think these look good, but I would suggest that we take care of the Central Mass Regional Planning
Do you have
first.
some thoughts on that? or-
I am pleased with the job that Tim Bonin has been doing. And I know
represents
he
Douglas
mentioned,
well.
I think during our last meeting, he'd love to continue in that capacity.
I think I'm more
And
than...
I think
Oh, I'm
Hal
sorry.
Davis would make a very good alternative to back him up.
Ooh,
That's a fine idea.
that is a dynamic duo right there.
I think Tim has really shown some acumen for this committee, and he's really gotten into it. And I think it's a bonus not only for the CMRPC, but for the town, his continuing work. And you can see his passion for that. I think it shows.
He
And I think
is,
for the ability to take Hal under his wing and sort of share some of that experience and knowledge,
That's a great idea.
I think would be a greater benefit to the town.
Yeah.
So I'll
There's-
make a motion that we appoint Tim Bonin as the delegate and Hal Davis as the alternative.
I would enthusiastically second that motion.
well, you know, Bowen is a very good mentor, I think.
I think so, too.
So, very passionate man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, you know,
He cares about planning.
yeah, and I think it's good to give him an opportunity to get involved as well.
And that would be for a term ending June
2020.
2020. Right.
Do we
Could
have
we
any control of
extend
that?
that
Can we
term?
extend the term? I was wondering.
I think we should put
No,
it,
CMRPC actually yearly sends a letter asking us to redo it, so.
I think we could really get rid of a lot of administrative red tape if we just went up to 2030 and just got it out of the way.
or at least
Is
the
there anything
3-year
prohibiting that?
term.
or-
Well, just at least until the end of their terms, because they need to be.
That's a good idea. You seem to be full of them tonight, so I certainly acquiesce to that.
Oh, there's a lot of things that are full of something tonight. So, we can look into extending the term, perhaps.
do what you want.
Can we put that directive out there to,
Well, I think we should appoint them both till the end of their terms, knowing that we will have to just
It's just that every year they send me the letter. I just
verify
put
that
the
appointment.
The same name.
ooh,
I think that's the way to go.
do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second, enthusiastically again.
So what was the motion?
The motion was to appoint them for the remainder of their term as selectmen. To basically, first of all, reward them for their hard work and dedication to planning, and to cut down on some of the administrative red tape moving forward.
Okay.
And it gives them some stability in knowing that they'll be in that position for a while to be able to make a difference.
So they don't, Tim would get very nervous if he thought of losing that.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I think this takes care of some of that.
So the motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion on this matter?
We've covered this extensively. I'm happy with the discussion as it stands.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Enthusiastically, aye.
Enthusiastically, aye, yes.
Now that we've gotten that out of the way.
Ambulance receipts and policies.
No, we have to do the rest of the appointments.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any openings that we need to find people?
All the openings are on the website
Okay,
and down the hall.
understood.
Right, so Adam Furno is off of capital improvement, or he wishes not to be.
Reappointed.
Yeah,
Do we
I-
make one blanket motion to reappoint?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do it as presented. So that would be everything that's in green with the terms that are listed.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Now the ambulance receipts policy, second reading. Has there been any changes since the first reading?
I don't have changes for you tonight, because I'm going to run them by Rich Bowen. I have two sort of major edits that I feel like we need to do here. One is qualification for the hardship waiver for a Douglas resident who's unable to pay their ambulance bill. The policy isn't specific enough on exactly what triggers that decision. So there's mention of comparison to the federal poverty guideline, and there's mention of attestation by a social worker, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But really, we need some bright line, if you're going to punch the ticket, then where are they? And I think we have existing system in place for hardships for seniors, for instance, circuit breaker tax type, property tax type qualification. We should be referring to existing systems and not trying to start anything new.
That makes sense.
And secondly, towards the end of the policy, on the next to last page, the system for writing off uncollectible accounts. It currently reads as follows: the town administrator, with the recommendation of the fire chief, after confirming that the above policy has been met, will make a determination that an account is to be written off as uncollectible. I disagree with that. All of the warrants that are signed here, whether it's a refund on the excise tax or payment of a bill, has checks and balances. The town administrator does sign the warrant, but so does the finance director as the town accountant and the treasurer. I think all three of us would have to sign basically a warrant or a document that looks a lot like a warrant to achieve the uncollectible, to write off the uncollectibles. I think our auditors would be better off with that. You have to have the checks and balances because you have to take the personalities and the faces out of it. What if you have a town administrator someday that knows a whole bunch of people in town and doesn't have any oversight when they sign off on uncollectible debts? Or town accountant or treasurer for that matter. The three of us sign to make sure that we're in compliance with the policy and with ethics, and that really just needs to be done. So I want to rewrite that section to reflect those values. Other than that, I think the policy is a lot of hard work by Gene and Chief Vincent to solidify, we're going to start the inquiry into accounts once they've aged over 120 days, which would be 4 months. We're not going to chase people who unfortunately may have deceased, and we're not going to chase people who have a hardship, a proven financial hardship. Other than that, the tax collection, the fee collection agency will pursue using the fair debt collection practices. So that's where we are. So your next meeting will have that language drafted, reviewed by council.
Okay. So we're off to approve minutes.
Okay, the first set's going to be April 16th, executive session.
I'll make a motion that we approve those
I'll second.
executive session minutes.
Do we want to retain those?
That was going to be my next question, yeah.
I would think so, yes.
Yeah, I think so too. And retain.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Then I'll make a similar motion to approve the May 6th executive session minutes and to retain.
Is that executive session? Oh, it is, yes.
Yes,
Yep.
that was
Okay.
prior to the town meeting.
Okay. I would second.
All right, made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next one's May 14th.
Nope. I'll make a motion that we approve the May 14th.
And I will second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 And the last one would be May 21st.
And I'll make a motion that we approve those as well.
And I'll second once again.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Your report, Mr. Ward.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we are very nearly finished the conversion of our health insurance account into the self-insured purchase group. We will be meeting tomorrow, we being the town of Webster, town of Douglas, and the Dudley Charlton School District, to form basically the board of directors as between the three of us. I guess everybody gets a job because we need a secretary, a vice chair, and a chair. We will also choose the stop-loss insurance vendor, and we will establish the stop-loss attachment points on our accounts. And we will be off and running July 1st with the purchase group and the self-insured schematic. The employees will experience a very brief blackout period while their HSA cards are being rolled over to the different policy type. Nothing's changing in their plan design or their funding, it's just that the new cards have to be issued, so there'll be that brief overlap period. Other than that, this has been a fairly straightforward and seamless transition, and we'll see where it takes us, but I'm hoping that we are definitely moving in the positive direction there. I want to thank everybody who was involved with the veterans acknowledgements on Memorial Day. As always, a very nice ceremony. I know the chairman was able to participate for most of the day. I had to leave early, right before the parade. But that's an all-volunteer group that puts those commemorations together and puts the flags out and makes sure that we acknowledge the town's veterans who made the ultimate sacrifice on Memorial Day. And so many thanks. There's a lot of people. I don't want to forget anybody, so I won't name names, but there are quite a few veterans in town that were very actively engaged in marching around the different cemeteries that day. I will be meeting as well tomorrow with the Mass Development Regional Director for this area, who is former Representative Kevin Kuros, and we'll be discussing the various development potential ideas around the town of Douglas that have started to get traction, and to make sure that the state is aware of where we may need their input. As far as those developments are concerned, they're constantly changing, and we're getting closer and closer to having the kind of thing we can discuss publicly, because they're firm details. But as of right now, we are still awaiting analysis of the suitability of the site for the much-discussed warehouse notion. It's a very large building. If it doesn't fit on the site because of wetlands or immovable ledge, then we might still have a project. It just won't necessarily be that one. So we're still awaiting the engineering reports on that. So there's not a lot to update the community on, but we are trying to be in a position to have a live project before we have to look at the 5-year budget plan, looking down the barrel of a gun almost. We want to make sure we have revenue in place. We did have those solar pilot agreements approved at town meeting, which, for the next couple of years, because they will come, as they come online, there will be new growth. They won't be absorbed into the base until the second year. So you're looking at fiscal 21, fiscal 22. There's those nuggets there that will keep us going. Finally, and as you know, it's taken quite a bit of my time. We will also be meeting in the next week with a member of the MEMA staff who has been very intimately involved in the town of Northbridge's public safety radio project. And his involvement with the state police in coming up with a good plan for the town of Northbridge involved, really the state police did a lot of work determining the radio coverage and signal strength for the town. And we're looking forward to maybe trying to leverage the same kind of advice. But we have there are so many choices to make: analog versus digital, high band versus UHF, keeping both cross band repeaters, all the rest of it. We won't be going forward with this procurement until we can really defend the plan. But I just wanted to report that back. That's where we stand.
Did Northbridge go on to the state system, or are they still on their own system?
So Northbridge was, you turn the page back on Douglas Fire, where they were on UHF and they were on VHF low band. Mm. And that's where Northbridge was, with a lot of the traffic really being carried by the VHF low band.
Yep.
So they had interoperability issues. They also had obsolescence issues. They're migrating all their traffic to VHF high band. Okay. But it does appear that they're supplementing some of their equipment with digital. Okay. And I think that's going to be one of the more important discussion points is digital is more desirable, but you have to be able to guarantee that the coverage covers the area, because if you are outside of the digital coverage area, you get zero.
Nothing. Right.
If you have analog, you might get you might get something, but you get zero if you're outside of digital. So I think that's one of the technical questions that we need to answer before we spend any money. But that's, again, we're not all experts on this, and we're all, I say all, the department heads that are involved, we're all learning. We're going to school. We're talking to as many people as we can to make sure we do this properly. So that's my update, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. So, do we have any old business? Seeing as none. Do we have any new business? Again, seeing as none. I would entertain a motion.
I move that we enter into executive session for the purposes of discussing interest in real property, and to leave executive session for the purposes of adjournment.
Well said. Second.
All right, roll call vote.
Mike Hughes, aye.
Kevin Morris, aye.
Dave Cortez, aye.